want you to stop what you're doing and listen closely. Because this is not just another motivational speech. It's a mirror, a wake-up call, a confrontation with the truth. There are only two kinds of people in this world. The first kind, bearing divided. They drag themselves through each day, tired, defeated, and complaining. They make excuses. They blame the world. They carry the weight of their past like chains. They think this is just the way life is. But the second kind? They rise. They stand tall in the face of adversity. They smile when others break. They keep walking when others quit. They don't just survive, they win. So what's the difference? It's not intelligence. It's not education. It's not even luck. The difference is what I call a positive mental attitude. But let me be very clear. This is not about just thinking happy thoughts. This is not about slapping on a fake smile while your soul is breaking. This is not the shallow good vibes only culture. Positive mental attitude is spiritual power. It is the ability to see through the fog of difficulty and still move with faith, purpose, and clarity. It is the only known antidote to failure. It is the foundation of all real, lasting success. The men I studied, the legends, Carnegie, Ford, Edison, Rockefeller, they didn't rise because life was easy. They rose because they developed something unshakable, an indestructible mindset. They didn't fear failure. They invited it. They didn't quit when they were knocked down. They studied the fall and rose stronger. That's what I want for you. But to begin that journey, you must first ask yourself, which kind of person am I becoming, and am I willing to change it? What is controlling your mind today? Is it fear, doubt, self-pity, resentment, or is it faith, purpose, gratitude, desire? Because the mind does not remain neutral. It is always under the influence of something. If you do not direct it, the world will. If you do not master it, the enemy will. That is the truth I discovered when I finally confronted my greatest enemy, myself. We spend our lives blaming circumstances, blaming people, blaming luck. But the real battle is within. Your mental attitude is the only thing over which you have complete, unchallenged, and unchallengeable control. You can control it if you choose. That truth will either set you free or offend your excuses. Because what you believe, or you become, what you think about, you attract. What you dwell on, you eventually live out. Some of you will say, but I've tried to stay positive and life keeps hitting me. Then I ask you, what is your definiteness of purpose? Because no one can develop a strong, positive mental attitude without a goal so burning, so consuming, so magnificent, that even failure trembles in its presence. Show me someone without a purpose, and I'll show you someone who drifts. And the drifter, my friend, is always in the devil's control. But show me someone who knows what they want, who wakes up with fire in their belly and vision in their mind, and I'll show you someone who cannot be broken. If you want to develop an unbreakable positive mental attitude, you must begin with one thing, a decision. You must decide what you want. Not vaguely, not someday, not I just want to be happy. You must decide with clarity, with fire, with certainty. What do you want your life to become? What are you chasing? What will you refuse to quit on, even when everything around you says stop? Because here's the truth. A weak mind cannot support a strong purpose. And a strong purpose cannot survive in a mind full of confusion and hesitation. To build an indestructible mindset, you must anchor it to something greater than comfort, greater than approval, greater than fear. You must be able to say, this is what I want, and I will not stop until I have it. That kind of clarity changes everything. It changes how you spend your time. It changes who you listen to. It changes how you respond to pain, because pain without purpose feels like punishment. But pain with purpose feels like progress. You're no longer just surviving hardship. You're using it. You're growing through it. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for permission. Decide what you want. Believe you will get it. Act on it every single day. Not sometimes. Only when you feel like it. Every single day. Because the universe does not reward wishful thinking. It rewards definiteness backed by action. If you're serious about building an unbreakable mind, you must clean house. Not your room, not your schedule, your mind. You must do what I call cosmic housekeeping. Every day, your mind is flooded with thoughts. Some are seeds, some are weeds. And the weeds, the negative, fearful, bitter, and lazy thoughts, do not visit, they invade. If you let them stay, they will take over. They will destroy your purpose from the inside out. So what do? You guard your mind like a fortress. You become the gatekeeper of your thoughts. You monitor what you're thinking, what you're saying to yourself, and how you respond. When you catch your mind drifting toward fear, toward worry, toward doubt, you stop it. Like a criminal at your door. You wouldn't let a thief walk into your home and make himself comfortable. So why let a destructive thought do the same in your mind? You replace it. You replace it with gratitude. You replace it with vision. You replace it with faith and power. You say to yourself, I was not born to be broken. I was not created to be weak. I am made of the same force that built mountains, that formed galaxies, that breathes through the lungs of champions. This is not delusion. This is war, and the battlefield is your mind. The lie that keeps people stuck is this: I'm just not a positive person. That's nonsense. No one is born positive or negative. You were conditioned. You were trained by your environment, your experiences, your habits. But what has been learned can be unlearned. What was programmed can be rewritten. Repetition. You become what you repeatedly do. You believe what you repeatedly say. Your attitude is the result of your most dominant thoughts played on a loop. So if you want to shift your life, you must start with what you feed your mind every single day. Cut out the garbage. Turn down the noise. Speak life. Speak power. Read truth until it burns inside you. Your subconscious doesn't care whether what you say is true or false, positive or negative. It believes what it hears most often. And that means you are always programming yourself, whether you're aware of it or not. Every complaint, every I can't, every I'm tired, is an instruction to your mind. So what are you telling yourself every day? Because success is always preceded by a conversation, or with someone else. But with yourself, your inner dialogue is either building your dreams or silently destroying them. The person who wakes up and says, I will win, I will persist, I will not be denied, starts to create momentum. That mental momentum fuels belief. Belief fuels action, and action shapes reality. But the person who wakes up and says, nothing works for me, I'm tired, I can't do this, fails before their feet hit the floor. Here's a truth you must remember. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But belief isn't created by accident. It's forged by daily repetition. It's not enough to hope once. It's not enough to speak power only when things are easy. You must train your mind like a muscle, daily, intentionally, relentlessly. Take 5 minutes every morning to speak life into your vision. Not quietly, not passively, with fire, with certainty, with conviction. Say, I am powerful beyond measure. My purpose is greater than my fear. I attract everything I need because I expect nothing less. You may not feel it at first, and that's okay. The subconscious doesn't change through feeling. It changes through repetition with emotion. Say it again, and again, and again, until the voice of victory is louder than the voice of doubt. This is how you become the kind of person who refuses to quit, because you've trained your mind to expect nothing less than success. Now let's go deeper. You cannot develop an unbreakable mental attitude without one essential trait: self-discipline. You can't master your emotions if you can't master your habits. You can't hold a high vibration if you're stuck in low-level rituals. Discipline is the bridge between your thoughts and your reality. Without it, your goals remain fantasies. Without it, your purpose is delayed. Without it, your potential dies a slow death every day. The men I studied, Carnegie, Hill, Edison, Schwab, did not succeed on talent alone. They succeeded because they learned to govern themselves. They understood a truth that many ignore. The person who cannot control their thinking, their time, their appetite, their focus, is a slave in a world built for kings. So I ask you, what do you tolerate that weakens your spirit? What distractions do you welcome that delay your growth? What comforts are you clinging to that rob your future? Discipline is not punishment, it's power. It is saying, I will read instead of scroll. I will rise instead of sleep in. I will speak power instead of complaints. And every time you choose discipline over impulse, your strength grows. Your identity changes. You stop being a prisoner of your emotions and become a master of your direction. That every time you give in to ease, every time you procrastinate, every time you let emotion overrule action, you lose a little more of your edge. Discipline is the fire that sharpens your purpose. It is the steel that reinforces your mindset. It is the habit of choosing your future over your feelings. No one will build that for you. No one can give it to you. It is earned. One decision at a time. There's one truth that changed everything for me. And if you grasp it, it will change you too. Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. If you truly believe that, you can never be defeated. You might bleed. You might fall. You might suffer. But you'll never break. Why? Because you'll know this is not the end, it's the test before elevation. Think back on your life. The greatest clarity didn't come when things were easy. The deepest growth didn't happen in peace. It happened in the storm, in the collapse, in the betrayal, in the setback. You were forced to choose. Will I drown or will I rise? We want strength. We resist the struggle that produces it. We want confidence, but we avoid the discomfort that builds it. We want clarity, but we flee from the confusion that forces us to find it. But the truth is, pain is a teacher, delay is protection, failure is redirection. So when life hits you hard, don't curse it, bless it, study it, grow from it. Start saying to yourself, this pain is preparing me, and this delay is refining me. This setback is shaping me. And what happens? You become unshakable. You become dangerous, not to others, but to defeat itself. Because life can't break a person who gets stronger every time they're hit. When you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what does this make in me? That's when the shift happens. That's when you stop seeing adversity as a curse and start recognizing it as a calling, and calling to rise, to lead, to become more than you ever thought you could be. Here's one of the greatest secrets of all. You are never a victim of circumstance. You are only ever a victim of your response. Two people can face the exact same setback. One becomes bitter. The other becomes better. The same storm. Different outcome. The difference, mental attitude. When life hits you, you get to decide, will I curse it or will I bless it as the teacher it is? When someone betrays you, you get to choose. Will I become resentful or will I become wiser, stronger, and more clear about my boundaries? You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you always control what it becomes. That is the power of a positive mental attitude. It doesn't remove the storm. It teaches you how to walk through it with purpose. It doesn't deny the pain. It transforms the pain into power. You begin to look at setbacks and say, this is working for me, not against me. You begin to see challenges not as blockages, but as building blocks. And here's what happens when you live like this. Your mind becomes a weapon. Your vision becomes clear. You become the type of person who can't be shaken because you no longer let the outside world define your internal world. That's what separates those who rise from those who retreat. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's not opportunity. It's the decision to control your perspective and therefore control your power. So the next time you face something hard, don't ask for it to go away. Ask yourself, what can I make this mean? What can I build from this? Because life isn't just happening to you, it's responding to you, and you get to write the story. Now let me warn you, once you begin building this mindset, once you start rising above mediocrity, once you begin thinking with power and walking with purpose, you will be tested, not just by life, but by people. There will be those who mock your positivity. They'll call you fake, delusional, or unrealistic. Why? Because your mindset exposes their comfort zone. Your growth reminds them of their excuses. Your discipline highlights their distractions. Your strength becomes a mirror. And not everyone likes what they see. Understand this. Most people are addicted to mediocrity. They are married to their limitations. They find identity in complaining. They bond through negativity. So when you choose light, you threaten their darkness. But you must stay the course. Protect your mental environment like your life depends on it, because it does. You wouldn't drink poison knowingly. So why allow toxic people, toxic conversations, or toxic content into your mind? If someone constantly speaks fear, constantly complains, constantly doubts, that's mental infection, and you must cut it off at the source. Surround yourself with voices that build you, not break you. People who remind you of your power, not your past. People who speak life, not limitations. Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you your future. Because environment is stronger than will. You get the strongest mindset in the world, but if you spend your days around people who feed fear, don't be surprised when your faith begins to fade. Light cannot thrive in darkness unless it is protected and fed. So choose carefully. Choose what you listen to. Choose who you walk with. Choose what you allow to enter your mind. Because your mindset is your foundation, and what you build on that foundation will determine the height of your life. Now, let me leave you with one final truth, one that separates those who rise from those who wait. You do not need permission. You don't need a title. You don't need a degree. You don't need validation. You don't need someone to approve your journey before you begin. You need only one thing, a decision to own your mind, a decision to stop blaming the world and start building your world, a decision to stop waiting and start becoming. Every great person you admire started right where you are. No applause, no guarantees, just a choice to lead their own thoughts, then rise anyway. You don't need better conditions. You need a better commitment. You don't need a perfect plan. You need an unshakable purpose. This world is not waiting to hand you greatness. It's waiting for you to claim it, to stand up, to rise in the middle of your fear, your struggle, your self-doubt, and say, "This is my mind. This is my life, and I will not live it crawling. I will walk in strength. I will lead with faith. I will think power, speak power, and live with purpose." You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your environment. You are the author of the next chapter, and the next chapter begins now. Inside, not tomorrow, but when it's easy, make the decision to think stronger, to speak stronger, to live stronger. Because the greatest power on earth is not in your talent, in your resources, your circumstances. It's in your attitude, and that attitude is yours to choose.